After starting a civil war, Emperor Vitellius killed and bribed his way to the Senate and the crown. If Vitellius were a fictional character, he would be Robert Baratheon. Unfortunately, Vitellius was very real. As rival claimants fight for control of the empire, culminating in a battle involving more than 100,000 soldiers, no one in Rome knows who will emerge victorious in this absolutely real version of Roman Game of Thrones.
The tale of my rise to the apex of power, a saga woven from the very fabric of ambition and destiny, is drenched in the crimson hues of triumph. I, Aulus Vitellius, in my own words, shall recount this journey, a testament to my indomitable spirit and my undeniable strength, tempered by a generosity as deep as the Tiber. My ascent began under the gaze of the great Emperor Tiberius, who saw fit to cast me, a noble of modest origin, into the tumultuous waters of Roman politics and war. During my early days, I was an illustrious consul and the finest of governors of Africa. These were but mere preludes to the opus of my life. Yet it was my command over the legions of Germania, a position bestowed upon me by the fickle hand of fate and the weak Emperor Galba, that set the stage for my imperial claim. The year was 69 AD, a year that would come to be known as the Year of the Four Emperors, a year that bore witness to my rise amidst the chaos of civil strife. My legions, fierce and loyal, proclaimed me emperor, a declaration that echoed across the Rhine and found resonance within the hearts of soldiers and senators alike. Soon, more legions followed suit, and in no time, all Roman armies from Britain to the gates of Italy had pledged allegiance to me. It was a moment of triumph, a clarion call that heralded the beginning of my reign and of my march toward Rome. To take the crown, I needed to rid the empire of the usurper Otho. In the turbulent theater of the town of Bedriacum, where the fate of empires was decided in the clash of iron and the roar of men, I, Vitellius, emerged victorious over Otho, a triumph not merely of arms, but of will. Amidst the carnage and the clamor, where the valor of countless soldiers was tested against the anvils of destiny, my legions stood resolute, their might unyielding, securing my ascension to the throne through their unwavering loyalty and bravery. Yet, in the wake of victory, my heart, though steeled by the necessities of war, was not devoid of mercy. To the vanquished soldiers of Otho, those sons of Rome who had fought with honor, I extended a hand of magnanimity. Recognizing their valor and their shared lineage under the banners of the empire, I offered them clemency and a place among my ranks, for in their defeat I saw not enemies but brethren, misled by the fog of conflict. In this act of generosity, I sought not only to mend the fractures wrought by civil strife, but to forge from the fires of Bedriacum a nation anew, united under the aegis of my rule, their loyalty reborn from the ashes of defeat. Arrayed in battle-hardened splendor, we advanced not as marauders, but as avatars of Rome's unbroken spirit. Our procession was a spectacle of martial prowess, the legions a sea of steel and resolve, their eagles soaring high, a portent of the impending new dawn. Upon entering Rome, not as a conqueror, but as its destined sovereign, I donned the senator's toga, a symbol of my unity with the state's foundational principles, and ascended the Capitol, where I embraced my mother, bestowing upon her the honorific title of Augusta. My path adorned with the laurels of victory and the acclamations of the masses, on April 17, 69 AD, my ascent to power was complete. I was now Vitellius Augustus, ruler of the Roman Empire, and I was about to let my reign begin. The indulgences I granted my soldiers and generals were unparalleled, a show of strength and a reward for their unwavering support. Yet this very generosity would be my Achilles' heel, as discipline within the ranks began to wane, and the prestige of Rome's mightiest, the Praetorian Guard, was diluted by the recruitment of a motley crew drawn from my loyal army. My reign was a spectacle of extravagance. The empire, vast and wealthy, was a playground for my desires. Gladiatorial games, feasts beyond imagination, and the honoring of Nero's memory through opulent ceremonies marked my days. Yet, this lavishness was not without purpose. It was a display of the power and glory of Rome, a message to friend and foe alike of the might of my reign. However, the winds of fortune are fickle. Vespasian stood at the helm of the legions of the East, and he had every intention of standing in my way. His proclamation to oppose me was a tempest that threatened to engulf my entire empire. From Alexandria to Damascus, allegiance shifted like sand, and the fervor with which commanders and legions declared for Vespasian was a bitter draught to swallow. The East was whispering of the largest rebellion Rome ever witnessed. My spirit, though tempestuous as a storm, could not quell the tide of betrayal that swept through the provinces. The very strength of Rome, its legions scattered across the realms, turned against me, a tide of dissent that no amount of might could stem. The loss of support within Rome, the heart of my empire, was a wound deeper than any sword could inflict. The city that had once hailed me as its savior now whispered in the shadows, its loyalty as ephemeral as the morning dew. The Senate, my supposed bastion of support, was swayed by the shifting sands of power, their praises for me as fleeting as they were for my predecessors. The specter of war cast its long shadow across the empire, and as Vespasian's forces gained momentum, my grip on power began to slip. The defection of Caecina, once my steadfast commander, to Vespasian's cause was a blow not just to my forces, but to my very soul. Betrayal within my ranks festered like a wound, and the loyalty of those I commanded became as shifting sands beneath my feet. All knew that the clash between my forces and those of Vespasian would be a cataclysm that was to shake the very foundations of the Roman Empire. As I stood at the helm of Rome, the winds of destiny blew fiercely, heralding the storm of conflict that was to engulf us all. As Vespasian marshaled his forces, I too fortified my resolve. The loyalty of my soldiers, once unwavering, began to shift under the weight of uncertainty and the seductions of Vespasian's promises. Yet, in my heart, a tempest of defiance raged. I was Rome's chosen, not by the fickle hand of fate, but by the iron will of its legions. The time was here. My legions, once the pride of Rome, now marched with a lethargy born of disillusionment and fear. They, who had once entered Rome as victors, now trudged with the heaviness of impending doom. My once mighty army, a shadow of its former self, mirrored my faltering empire. The fall of the year 69 AD came as Vespasian's forces closed in. Rome, that eternal city, turned its back on me. The Senate, once the bedrock of my claim, now shifted their allegiance to the winds of change. The people, my people, who had once hailed me as emperor, now looked to Vespasian as their savior. As the dawn broke over the fields of Bedriacum, the stage was set for a confrontation that would forever alter the tapestry of Roman history. After defeating Otho on the same field months before, my fate and Rome's destiny would once again be decided here, at the Second Battle of Bedriacum. My legions, draped in the regalia of Rome's might, stood ready, their spirits steeled for the carnage that awaited. The air was thick with the anticipation of 60,000 of my soldiers. The ground trembled under the weight of our resolve. Slightly outnumbered, the veteran forces of Vespasian advanced, a sea of steel under the banner of revolt. I watched from my vantage, my heart a cauldron of fury and pride. The battle cry that shattered the morning's calm was a symphony to my ears, a call to glory for the sons of Rome. Our swords sang in the sunlight, clashing with the enemy in a dance as old as the empire itself. Yet, as the day wore on, the tide of battle shifted like the sands of the Tiber. The valor of my men could not stem the relentless advance of Vespasian's legions. The fields of Bedriacum, once green, were stained with the blood of the fallen, a crimson testament to the cost of ambition. In the end, as the dust settled and the clamor of battle faded, the outcome was etched in the annals of history. The Battle of Bedriacum, a testament to the might of Rome and the fragility of power, was lost. The end did not come swiftly. Vespasian's brother seized the initiative following my defeat to declare his sibling emperor, undermining my authority from within the very heart of Rome. The capital, once the symbol of my ascendancy, became the stage for my downfall. Surrounded by enemies and abandoned by fortune, I was captured, a spectacle for the jeering crowds, my imperial robes replaced by the chains of captivity.
We thank you immensely for watching this third episode of our series on the lives of every single Roman emperor. Like for more content similar to that. If you want to know who the former Emperor Otho was, well, think of Renly Baratheon in Game of Thrones, and you will be spot on. In fact, he was not able to rule for more than 92 days. Watch our video to know how his empire crumbled in merely 3 months. Subscribe and leave a comment. We will make sure to answer you.